Hello there and welcome along to Hive Live Extra, your place for exclusive reaction and analysis following Watford's 1-0 victory over Nottingham Forest. It does mean at the time of recording the Hornets are up to second in the Championship thanks to that first half strike from Masina. And here with me to talk through the game, I'm joined by Hornets past and present, the Watford women's player Adekite Fatuga-Dada and former Hornet Tommy Mooney. I think all of us let out a bit of a sigh of relief, didn't we, when the full-time whistle blew? But job done, Tommy.
Yeah, exactly. It is relief. I think it is genuinely that today. It wasn't the most inspiring performance, but it was professional. I think the difficulty we had after the opening 20-25 minutes, where I think we played really well, some lovely passing movement, quick touches, and the goal comes. After that, it became quite dour because Forest just sat in and defended even though they were 1-0 down, so there was no real space for us to open up.
We did speak beforehand, Addy, weighing up results against performance, and I think we all agreed the result, though, is the most important thing. So even though it was a little bit uncomfortable towards the end, I think we're all just thankful for the 3 points.
Yeah, 100%. I think, especially, I think we were saying about fans not being in, and you know, you don't have to put on much of a performance, I guess, when fans aren't here. You just need the result. So. Yeah, no, I think it was a professional, like Tommy said, performance, and you know, 3 points can never hurt. So. Yeah,
what kind of impact do you think that can have on the game, not having fans late on? Do you think that was a contributing factor to it being a bit nervy at the end? Then is it more likely would have killed the game off with a full house here at Vicarage Road?
Yeah, I certainly think so. I think you know when a game's as slow and as quiet as that was today, you'd have opposition supporters wanting Forest to go forward for a start. And the Watford supporters would be driving them on here at Vicarage Road. So I do think you get the lulls in a game become longer with no supporters in the stadium. But nevertheless, you know, the players still have to do their job, whether there's people in here or not.
For you, Addy, how else do you think Forest were able to get back into that game in the second half?
I think they definitely must have tweaked a few things going into the second half, and you know, I think they started to play a bit more. They got a bit more confident and grew through the game, and you know, started putting a lot of crosses in, winning a lot of corners, which put us under a bit of pressure. But I think we dealt with it well, and we didn't concede well. Officially,
we did, but it didn't count.
Officially, yeah. But yeah, no, it was nervy to watch, but. Again, like you said, it was professional, we did the job, and 3 points, and we leave here happy.
Yes, we certainly do, and with that now it's time for some exclusive reaction here on Hive Live. We can speak to the Watford defender, Masina. Hi Adam, thank you for joining us here in the Hive Live studio. I think there was a huge relief when that final whistle blew. A little bit scary at the end there, but relief for you, the players as well, that we got the job done?
Of course. Thank you so much to you. We knew already it's going to be a tough game, and fortunately in the first half we were able to score, and of course they try until the end, but fortunately today we won.
Yeah, it was a great team performance, but for you personally, was that one of your best personal performances this season, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. After my injury, I'm back, and now I'm feeling really good. And we knew already that without Tom Cleverley, it's gonna be a tough game. I think he's one of our best players at the moment, and we have a lot of confidence on him. And this moment, he was injured, and fortunately, we had a really good player as João Pedro and Sierralta is able to play a beautiful game, and really happy and really proud of them.
Yeah, I think everyone did their bit, but you scored the all-important winning goal. So take us through that moment when you got the ball, because it looked like you just knew you were going to score a goal.
Sarr make an amazing action on the other side and try to give the ball to Andre. The keeper touched the ball. I was there in this moment, and yeah, of course I try to take my time until the end, and fortunately I hit the ball and in the right corner.
Yeah, I mean you placed it perfectly, but I suppose the advantage was you did have a bit of time, didn't you, to really do that?
Yeah, of course. The opponent, the winger doesn't follow me, so I say, why not pushing there? Why don't I arrive in the box? And in this moment, he just forgot about me, and I had my time and shoot.
I mean, you make it sound easy, but, you know, as a defender, it's not often you get these chances, but you seem very composed.
Yeah, I know, but you know, last game I had another opportunity on the corner, and I was a little bit disappointed about don't hit the ball. And in this moment, maybe it's the karma, is back. So I'm really happy, lucky, and in this moment we know how is important for us this result and how much we have to keep pushing.
Bit of a shame we didn't get the second goal. There were a few chances, but actually as the game went on, Nottingham Forest really started to put some pressure on, didn't they? How do you think that was able to happen?
Yeah, I know. We tried to kill the game. We had some good opportunity, but the good thing is the clean sheet. In this moment, I think our performance, our season is going to go through these things, the clean sheet, because how much is important for a team. Just don't take a goal. You know what I mean? And in this moment, we are doing really, really well. I'm really happy for Danny, the backman. He's doing very well for both the centre back, Kratchkar. I'm really happy about everyone and proud of everyone.
Yeah, it's true. You've got an excellent record, especially since Cisco came in his time, I think in 15 matches, 9 clean sheets. Now, why do you think that is? Why do you think you click so well as a defensive unit? What is it?
I think he brought some team spirit. In this moment, it's not just the line, or defensive line, but it's the team. You know what I mean? All the team is working a lot. Sarr, João, Sema, I have to be honest. They helping us a lot, and Hughes in front of the defensive line, I think, is something brilliant. So we are really happy, and in this moment we know how much is important. Keep the good mood and go again. Yeah,
take us inside that dressing room at full time, because on social media we've seen a few bits and pieces when people put videos up on Twitter and Instagram, but today lots of celebrations again.
Of course. We know. You have to just keep pushing and keep smiling, because we are lucky to make this work. It's our job, and we just enjoy.
I think the only thing missing at the moment really is the fans, isn't it? It's a shame that they're not here to witness you winning so often, and especially in games like this, maybe when you only have 1 goal lead, you perhaps really need the fans behind you to help kill off games.
Of course. As I say in a previous interview, I think is 80% of our work in this moment is missing. So is a pity, but we have to go again and waiting for them as soon as possible.
Yeah, 7 days off now. Which is quite a long time compared to what you have had. How much do you think you'll benefit from that as a team?
We can work on our mistake. Maybe we can just refocus on it, and we go again for sure. But we know how it's important. Make a good performance away, and we have to go there, go for them, and after we will see the result. I think we have just be focused on our performance. If our performance is right, we can have a really good chance to win.
I suppose it means we're a week closer to other players coming back as well. You've mentioned Tom Cleverley missing at the moment. Nathaniel Chalobah not been involved either in the last couple of games, but it's been a great positive, hasn't it, that you've had other players come in that have done the job and slotted in.
Yes, of course, we are a team now. Now we are a team. I think I spoke with the team this week about Bournemouth's game, and one good thing I saw there, we are a team now. We fight for each other. That's the point. And in this moment, every single player is a part of something. You know what I mean? It's not easy to achieve this result, but in this moment we are, and we are happy. Keep pushing, and we are waiting for our players as Troy, our skip, Tom Cleverley, Nathan, and I think we're gonna make a really good season.
Yeah, it seems that way. Just finally today, right now, we are second in the table. Just give us an idea of the belief in this squad that you can do it and go all the way.
Yeah, the coach spoke about this during the week, and he said in this moment how much is important. We know, but in the other hand, we have to be focused on ourselves, because if we achieve maybe a good points, I think we have more chance to be back in Premier. So in this moment, we don't look at the table.
Yeah.
We just be careful and be ready for the next one. We know we have to win. We have to keep winning, and that's the way.
Well done today. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, great to hear from the goal scorer in Adam Masina. And actually, whilst we're talking about things from a defensive point of view, Tommy, even though Forest did have these spells of pressure, particularly in the second half, it did amount to a goal that didn't count. But away from that, there weren't too many clear-cut chances, were there?
No, I think, I said it on commentary, I think the only threat that they consistently gave us today was the set pieces. From knockouts, left foot delivery, and they were putting the ball into our 6-yard box. And because of the amount of players that were in there, Bachmann couldn't get anywhere near it. So I think some of the defensive heading today was very, very good.
Yeah, it was. I think particularly from the angle that we had here in the studio, and they were defending in that box right behind us, weren't they? But there were plenty of bodies in there doing their bit.
Yeah, plenty of bodies, and they're all confident and commanding and getting the ball away, which is what you want from your defenders. And like we were saying before, I think a lot of the time they were putting balls in, but it was all very speculative, and they were hoping for something to happen, to come off someone or to hopefully get a goal. But I'm just glad that we stuck to our guns and we made sure that we defended well and we were solid.
That second half did include a first appearance for our new signing, Carlos Sanchez. What did you make of his performance when he came on and the way he slotted in? Given, by the way, it's not like he's been playing regular football, but he came in and did his bit right away.
Yeah, what you saw from Carlos today is very. I worked with him at Aston Villa, so he's very, very good at keeping possession of the ball and winning the ball back. And what you saw today is what he's all about.
Yeah, and we signed him, well, for his experience, I suppose, in the most part. And do you think we saw that today, Adi?
Yeah, I think so. I think, he came on and did the basics well. Made sure he kept the ball and kept it moving and kept moving himself. Like physically, he didn't look out of shape at all. So, I think it was a good, steady debut.
Yep. Joseph Hungbo, good to see a little bit more of him again. We spoke to him in the flash interview on Hive Live straight after the game, and you wouldn't think that he's a player of relative inexperience. He seems to have slotted in quite well. Yeah,
I was really impressed with him when he came on. I think he only made his championship debut on Wednesday night, didn't he? So to get another appearance like he did, but I thought he came in enthusiastic, which you'd expect for a young player, but I thought he had some real quality in his driving down the left-hand side. We'd seen him in the Cup play on the right-hand side and cut in on his left foot, but I thought there's certainly a lot there to whet the appetite with him.
And how well do you think he's adjusted to it coming in on this big stage like this, Adi, when he is still relatively so young?
Very well. I mean, we spoke to him and, you heard how confident he was when he was speaking and, how much he understood what needs to be done. And I think, coming in, he, like you said, he almost could have got an assist in that game. So, I think going forward, he'll be an important squad player for the boys, and hopefully he can come in and help with some goals and assists maybe going forward.
Yeah, he was very mature in his whole approach actually, and I suppose that's just been the message in the whole dressing room though. He wasn't getting too excited about what they'd done today. I think there's a real appreciation in that dressing room of the task ahead. But let's just take a moment to reflect on the task which he's done already. His stats are actually quite phenomenal. So played 15, won 10, drawn 2, lost 3. During that time, scored 23, conceded just the 9 goals. That's quite some record, isn't it, so far, Tommy? Very good.
And when we met him in here, you get a sense of his personality and what he's like. And I know in the dressing room, he's certainly lifted spirits, and the whole aura of the dressing room has changed. And certainly, when you're winning games, it's easier to do that. He's been the one who's selected the system. Playing that system is, for me, what's gave us the opportunity to win games. And you can see that, everybody is almost like they're getting that little family back, which is a good sign.
Yeah, on that subject, there is this real team spirit, but it just seems as though he's brought in real strength all over the pitch. 9 clean sheets in that run, just the 3 games in which they haven't scored, and that's what you need from a promotion side, right? Well, everyone needs to be able to perform across the entire pitch.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think, it puts that steel in defence. You got the creativity going forward, and I think, the camaraderie, like we've said, it's very apparent, when you watch them. And I think they're not just winning, but they're winning ugly too, which I know Troy mentioned before that they need to be able to do in this league, and I think that's very true. Today was one of those, and you know it's good to see, and hopefully it continues going forward.
And not only that, when you have frustrating afternoons like we did against Bournemouth, it doesn't seem to have derailed them in the slightest.
No, if anything, it gives them that extra urge. They've got 2 home games, 2 wins, you know. And I think so today it was quite a slow tempo, but in a calendar month they've played 8 games. That's an awful lot of football. They've won 6 of them. That's certainly promotion for them, and if that continues, you know, it looks good towards the end of the season. We know it's going to be really difficult. There's some really difficult games, but when you're going in there with high expectations and also good form, then you've got a real good chance.
7 days off now for them. Well, say off, they'll be in their training and recovering, but compared to the schedule that they have been dealing with, Adi, you know, as players, how much do you think that's going to benefit them just having that full week together?
Definitely. I think, you know, it's sometimes you want to be able to work on things and you can't when you've got such a quick turnaround. But now they'll have a bit more time to work with each other and with Xisco, and they can get some things ironed out that maybe they need to, and you know, a bit more rest, a bit more time at home with family, which I think is always good. So.
Yeah, and even though we say in here, when you're winning, you just want to keep playing, Tommy, there will be an element, as Adi said there, that they can actually go away and work on some stuff now properly, rather than just having a day to recover and then perhaps half a day on the training pitch before they need to prepare again. Yeah,
well, I think if we think back, the last time that they had a full week to prepare for one game was the beginning of this little run that they went on. So it's important to keep maintaining the structure on the training ground and work on what you're planning for with your next opponent. And it's very rare in this division that you get a full 5 or 6 days to do that.
But I suppose going back to the Xisco point as well though, Tommy, it makes it all the more impressive, doesn't it? Because he's not really had a stint with them at any point, yet he's managed to pull off this incredible run of form.
I think everybody connected with the team has stood up and took responsibility for their roles, whether it be the players playing in their determined positions, the ones that have played slightly out of position, and certainly Xisco and his staff have given them that enthusiasm and confidence to say, go on, you go and play the game, I trust you, you go and win the game. And that's been really positive. Yeah, on the subject of confidence, it does mean at the time of recording, the Hornets are up to 2nd in the table. Brentford not playing this weekend. Their game against Rotherham has been postponed due to COVID outbreak within Rotherham. Swansea, of course, have those 2 games in hand as well. But again, at the time of recording, we are 2nd. How confident are you that this side can do it? They look as if they're on their way to you, Adi.
Well, they're playing well, and like we said, they're not just winning good games, they're winning ugly games too. So, you know, I think that's a sign of a team that is very much chasing promotion and can do it. So, you know, I think it's up to them. Only they can do it, and they need to be able to put in the performances to be able to do that. And, you know, I think one of them today showed that they can do it. So I'm very hopeful, and I'm very confident that they will.
Yeah. I think we all are. So yeah, the Hornets back in action, 7 days time, hopefully continuing this winning form that they're now in once more, away at Cardiff City. 3 o'clock kickoff next Saturday afternoon. From 2 o'clock we'll have an hour of build-up. watfordfc.com/Hive live. But for now, we'll say our goodbyes to Tommy, Adi, thanks for your time. And we look forward to seeing you again next weekend. Take care, goodbye.
If you enjoyed that, you'll love this.